Welcome to A Moment with Rukwaru. We are continuing on certain topics in this book, The Broken Promise by Mutea Rukwaru, Kenya's life journey. From 1963 to date, the Kenyan dream, the river of life of Kenya as a nation. What has been the dream of Mwananchi? What has been the inspiration when Kenyans went to the forest to fight the white man, to fight colonialism? What was their dream? The dream was to have a better Kenya, to have good lifestyle, good education, good income, where poverty will be something of the past. It's always a question. As a scholar or the literature scholar, a poet, a writer, Ogot Pibitek asked in his book, Song of Lawin and Song of Ocean, he asked, the independence country, when you got independence, were you expecting the dew to turn into fruit? Were you expecting the dew, the grass to turn into money, and all life will be so sweet, and everything will be open sesame? Ogot Pibitek was lamenting, knowing the desperation, the unfulfilled dreams which the citizens will meet after getting independence. It ended up that the monarchy was just chasing a mirage with all the expectations. Now, Kenya, we have got our constitution, the 2010 constitution, which is a very, very progressive constitution, and which came out after rigorous movements many years, when we got our men and women of great wisdom who came together to really discuss, to chart a path for this country. But then, we should not also fail to understand that these men and women have their own prejudices. These men and women, they have their own passions. These men and women, they have their own parochial interests, which probably might have gotten into this document. And that's why I would also like to say, though Constitution 2010 is a living document, it needs to be revisited. And revisiting the Constitution, it does not mean the Constitution cannot be changed once the document is ready. There are certain history, there are certain stories, there are certain experiences which should make us revisit the 2010 Constitution because of the lessons we have learned for those 10 years. Now, after the government is formed, there is the political party, there is the ruling party, and there is the opposition party. Now, I want to talk briefly about the opposition party. Why should we have an opposition party? An opposition party is very, very important. It's very important. The opposition party should be the second party, which was second to the ruling party when it comes to the votes during the elections. It is just the second number of seats. So what it is for purpose? It is very important because it plays a controlling mechanism to keep the government on its watch, in terms of the accountability, in terms of transparency, in terms of policies, in terms of welfare, also monitoring if the ruling party is following its manifesto, which they used during the electoral time. Yes, there were promises they gave the electorate. So now, who is going to make sure that these people, the ruling party, is keeping to its promise? Now, the opposition party is a watchdog. The opposition party is a shadow government. It's a government in waiting. In case the ruling party falls or resigns, the opposition party is supposed to take over. And that is why you see in ideal democracy, like in the House of Commons in Britain, the opposition party, they have got shadow cabinet secretaries, or call them cabinet ministers. These ones, they keep on watching. Here is also a cabinet minister for education. They have to keep watch over the policies for education. Held the same. Now, if you don't have shadow cabinet ministers, who is going to keep the government on the watch? Who is going to really analyze and evaluate the policies which the government is coming out with? In House of Commons in Britain, the shadow cabinet ministers are put on a pedestal, on a step higher than the normal parliamentarians. The allowances is higher, the privileges. And so what about in Kenya? In Kenya, we find that there is a great challenge when it comes to the opposition party. And you see, opposition party is not just giving criticism. Opposition party should also give credit to the government if it is implementing policies which are of the common good and which are of common interest to the common mwananchi. So it's not just mere criticism. And they should also be giving alternative policies which can be implemented to make the life better for the mwananchi. Now, in Kenya, we have been getting into a difficult scenario where you find that we don't have defined opposition parties, or when it comes to the government go to bed with the opposition party through national government. You see, much as you might talk about national government, have a national government, but let's have a political party, an opposition party, which is going to keep the government on its toes. If the opposition party come and get now merges with the government, either indirectly or directly, it's going to do a lot of disservice to this country, because the very unpopular policies will pass through in the government and there is no accountability. It will be left to men and women of great will, whom we call activists, who are now going to talk on behalf of the common mwananchi before the election time. So it is dangerous for us not to have an opposition party. And it is also dangerous for the government to swallow the opposition party, because the country will be in the problem. The aspect of accountability, the aspect of transparency will be a problem. It is important for the government to strengthen an opposition party. And an opposition party, it's important for it also to have shadow cabinet ministers. These people, so that they are able also to articulate, to look at the policies of the government, so that they have alternative policies. And this will be a tool, will be something which is also going to help them to sell their manifesto come election time. So what am I trying to say? One, I'm trying to say that opposition party is very important. Then you wonder, what am I trying to say? Am I trying to say political parties should not merge? No, I'm not saying political parties should not merge, but I'm saying there should be an opposition party, even in the midst of merging. Sometimes you also find political parties are going to merge, but why do they merge? Politics is a matter of interest. Political parties are not just going to merge just for the sake of it. One of the reasons why political parties are going to merge is the aspect of vote maximization. You want to get the presidency, and how are you going to get? Come all the parties merge together, vote maximization. Second is getting more cabinet secretaries and other appointments when you win the election. And thirdly, it is the parties have got similar policy and ideologies, or say they have got the same manifesto or similar manifesto. Others, it is rebranding their parties. Probably the party has become very unpopular. So you want to rebrand by bringing many parties together. And then finally also, there may come also a party which is very, very unpopular. Like for example, if you look now in the case of America, of Harris and Trump, the immigrants are so worried if Trump is going to win, because he said you are going to send them home. So now parties can merge so that you block and decide political ideologies or unpopular political ideologies get in their place in your country. Otherwise, thank you very much. It's your family therapist and a relationship coach, Mutea Rukwaru, trying to analyze the book Broken Promise. I hope you are going to enjoy this, what is in this book from yours truly. Thank you. Have a great day.